Hey, welcome back here with Wrenching Mafia. Today we'll be replacing a support battery on your vehicle. In most cases, 9 out of 10 times, whenever you get a park assist system unavailable, and also when you get a start stop message on the vehicle, most likely that's going to be a support battery that went bad on your vehicle. I will be showing you guys how to properly replace the support battery, how to reset the system. There has to be a specific procedure. If you don't follow these steps, most likely whenever you do replace a start stop or support battery, you will be getting a message back on the vehicle. So let's get started. First thing we'll need will be some tools. These are some of the tools that I'll be using. It'll be a 1/4 inch ratchet, 3/8 ratchet, 8mm socket, 25 Torx for the fender liners. The 8mm will be for the battery bolts and the bracket that holds the support battery. I'm using a 3/8 with a 10mm to remove the ground on the main battery to reset the system. And of course, you'll be needing a new battery. I highly recommend you go with the genuine battery. That way it will last you properly. And if you go aftermarket, sometimes it lasts about 1 to 2 years from my experience. So the first thing you want to do is locate the negative terminal, which should be a black one on the main battery. You want to break it loose, and what I like to do is to basically just set it to the side. Either you could put some sort of cloth or something to cover it, so that way it won't touch it, and that way if it touches it, it will complete the circuit, which indeed it will not reset the system. So we got to make sure that there's no voltage going to any of the computers to perform the proper reset. Next thing you want to do is locate the front driver's tire. In this case, I'll be lifting the vehicle up in the air, but either you can remove the tire, but all I'm going to do is basically remove the fender liner on the front. You got 25 Torx. I believe it's 6 bolts or screws, I should say, that you're going to have to remove. And then you kind of set the fender liner to the side, and that way you have access to the support battery. So once you get all those screws out, the 25 Torx, I will be removing the fender liner and just setting it to the side. So I will show you guys how to do that next. I kind of just pull the fender liner, and I use the main tire to kind of hold the fender liner as I'm working in there. So I'm gonna set it to the side, and you could do this on the ground. For me, it's just easier to do it up in the air since I have a hoist at this time, but it's definitely doable when you could do it in the ground. As you guys can see here, we do have access to the support battery, and I'll be showing you guys how to remove this. It does have a bracket which gets held down by 8mm bolt. And of course, this is going to be your positive side. So be aware, because both cables are black. So you want to verify and make sure you don't mix those up. So most likely, of course, you'll see the positive sign on the positive side. And on the negative side, you kind of have a little box on top of the cable. So that just kind of shows you that's where the negative is going to be located. But be aware of the orientation of the cables and the support battery when installing and putting everything back together. Make sure when you guys install the support battery back, make sure you guys do put the bracket back on and tightly secure that bolt. I see where people leave that bracket off and the cable tend to break due to the vibration of the vehicle, or something becomes loose. Last thing you want to do is get a shorted wire, and it'll create more issues later down the line. So I'll be removing the support battery, and then I'll be showing you guys how to basically reset the system. So when you have everything disconnected with the main battery and support battery, you want to leave it off for 10 to 15 minutes, but I would say closer to 15 minutes. And that way the system will reset without clearing any fault codes that are in the system, and it'll do it just like that without any special scanners or tools. So I highly recommend you guys do that, because if you guys don't, when you put it back together, most likely you will get the start-stop malfunction indicator on your vehicle. I did test the battery, and as you guys can see, it did fail. If you guys are not sure if your battery is good or bad, most likely you take it to another parts store, and they will most likely test it for you for free. So like I said, this battery is about 3 to 4 years old, and it did fail, so we are going to go ahead and replace it. And as we put the battery back together, we want to make sure that orientation of the positive is where it's supposed to go, and negative on the other side. So first thing I want to do is put the bracket. So I will put the bracket back in there, and I'm tying up my 8mm bolt. Of course, like I said, you could use either 3/8 ratchet or 1/4 inch. I'll be using a 1/4 inch ratchet here with the 8mm socket. I want to make sure that none of the cables are touching right now. That way nothing's kind of shorting out. As you guys can see right here, I'm gonna tighten up the positive side first. And you don't want to go too tight. You just want to go make sure you're nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten these since they are lead posts, and you could probably strip them or pull the threads. Then from there, we're gonna install the negative terminal, and I like to start these by hand. Once again, you just want to make sure they go in there nice and straight. So here's negative. Just verify that the cable and the post you're installing, it's the negative side. And we'll just do the same procedure as when we tighten up the positive side. One thing I like to do, just kind of shake my terminals and verify that they're very well connected and nothing's loose. And then from there, it's pretty much straightforward. Just kind of put the fender liner back together with the 25 torx screws. There should be 6 of them. Like I said, you just kind of put them in there and make sure they're nice and tight. And we'll be reconnecting the main battery ground. That way we could start the vehicle and proceed with verifying that the light is off. So once we do the full repair, let the vehicle sit 15 to 20 minutes without the batteries being connected. It will reset the system, and as you guys can see, those 2 messages are gone. So from there, we just pretty much, the vehicle's fixed and we're good to go. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. If this video was very helpful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will